Well, once again, we're back with a few stories to go through that I thought deserve to be mentioned or might get missed in the endless noise that we see these days. First off, we're going to start with Boris Johnson's lapdog, Nadine Dorries, or whatever she's called. This trout here, some of you might know, is pushing the online safety bill that's got nothing to do with protecting children as it claims and everything to do with dragging the UK into a nanny state, or more of one than it already is. As some of you might know, they literally only used the kid angle to help sneak it through before the general public and Tory voters noticed the real aim of this CCP-inspired crap. Now yes, some will say it's not as bad as what the CCP do and all that, but with bits in the bill like legal but harmful content getting you time in prison, what they mean is it's not that bad yet. At the end of the day, we must remember in 2019 this government following other lunatic governments into lockdown would have been considered next to impossible. That is obviously before the Overture window shifted 10 spaces towards full retard in March 2020 and saving the NHS became the new state religion. So I would say at this point nothing is impossible when it comes to these slimy scumbags and what they're gonna do, and Nadine Dorries is a perfect example of that. Completely useless and only in her position because she's Boris Johnson's lapdog. Shit, let's be honest, even Tory MPs don't like her, and last year chucked her out of a WhatsApp group you might even remember. Now, I've made videos on this demented bill before, and the fact that it's got nothing to do with children is literally just them trying to censor the internet via the back door, with claims it's about stopping underage kids from going on Instagram or some tripe. Obviously, it's really just an attempt to shoe in facial recognition requirements and things like that before you can gain access to a given website or to use the internet in general, I'm willing to bet. They claim it's just going to be certain websites, but the real aim is to get it implemented across the board with Ofcom regulating it all, which I have to say makes me really confident. Now, some Tory MPs don't like this bill, and for good reason, which has forced Nadine Dorries to run a bit of damage control that to me only makes it more concerning. Here, the Telegraph states, in an attempt to head off Tory rebels, Miss Dorries will confirm that woke tech giants will be barred from arbitrarily removing content they regard as controversial to protect freedom of speech. Now, that all sounds great until you remember this so-called conservative, free speech-loving government ran to big tech firms throughout the past 2 years crying about videos on YouTube that they didn't like, or posts on Twitter that exposed their bullshit narrative. Well, after this bill has passed, them videos and posts there could well be considered legal but harmful content which would have the person posting it arrested and thrown in prison. So it's clearly not going to protect free speech, is it? Though let's be honest, it was never about that and we knew it from day dot. Either way, the biometric ID nanny state is on its way and this bill's going to help them achieve that, I'm willing to bet. Now up next we've actually got a bit of good news if it's true, and that is the government apparently planning to scrap a green levy you will get on energy bills to pay for the net zero nonsense Boris Johnson is pushing. Obviously he should remove all net zero policies and call it the dead duck that it is, but he bloody won't, so we'll have to take this one for now, that is if it turns out to be true like I said. But really, we must be pushing to get it all stopped full stop because as the Telegraph states here, it's not bloody good. It says nearly 23% of the cost of household electricity is made up of green taxes, included part funding investment in renewable generation and paying energy companies to subsidise energy efficiency improvements in poorer households. So literally nearly a quarter of your energy bill is a net zero green tax bollocks that the government could drop to keep prices down, and it should be dropping it automatically. Now obviously they won't because they're far more interested in sending billions to Ukraine than they are in helping the people of this country with energy bills or anything else. In fact, they're too busy trying to import more people so public services are even more stretched than they already are because remember, the unlimited refugee scheme just equals unlimited waiting times for NHS treatments. But even if they go ahead with dropping this green levy crap, it's not going to be done for months yet, so don't expect any generosity from this government before the autumn. Ukraine is their only concern when it comes to spending your money right now, let me tell ya. And actually, speaking of that, maybe we should move on to our next story, which is yet more reports of expensive military hardware being sent to Ukraine. I guess our country's so rich and our armed forces are so well supplied we can give away multi-million-pound weapon systems while people struggle with price rises and tax rises here. Oh, and this obviously goes along with the untold billions already funneled over there all at your expense, because remember, the government has no money, they're spending yours.
The government's money is people's money. The government doesn't have any separate money of its own.
So while energy bills and shit like that is going up, money and weapon systems are going to Ukraine weekly or even daily. Now yes, people will say we've already paid for these weapons so it don't cost us any more, but these expensive bits of kit could be sold to help people here if we don't need them, and obviously shipping them over there does cost us something. In fact, it's shit like this that really pisses me off whenever I see stories like this one, which, let's be honest, is becoming daily at this point. Boris is promising them the world all at our expense. Anyway, up next we got another piss-taking story here, but it's worth quickly pointing out because not only does it expose the Home Office block booking hotels for illegal immigrant boat wankers, which, let's be honest, we already knew, it also mentions a bit of the Rwanda deal small print that will piss many of you off. Here the Mail writes, as part of the package which would see cross-channel migrants flown to Kigali for processing, the government has already agreed that refugees currently living in Rwanda can be flown to Britain for resettlement.
In the quiet words of the Virgin Mary, come again.
Yep, they take boat wankers and we get some in return from them, making this even more of a piss take than I thought it was when I made a video about it. And to top it off, here it goes on, hidden in the small print is a reciprocal arrangement under which Britain will accept an unspecified number of refugees who have been unable or unwilling to settle in Rwanda, despite having been granted asylum. Now this I didn't know when I first said this was pointless, so I guess I was well right on that one, or should I say I underestimated just how worthless it really was. Oh, and apparently the people coming from Rwanda will be people with mental health issues and things like that, because why not? It's not like we don't hear reports of mental health crisis going on here in the UK right now, is it, or anything like that? But really, this one point alone here makes the Rwanda deal completely worthless and means I might have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb to see what other horrors await us within. Now finally, and following on from the mRNA heart cure claims, we have an mRNA cancer vaccine claim coming out of Duke University in America. Of course, it's nowhere near coming out or ready for anything like that, but it's being tested on 39 women right now for breast cancer, so I thought it was worth mentioning at least. Now some might call it strange that everyone and their mother can't wait to take advantage of this new jab tech that had not been used before it got normalised last year, but you gotta trust the science, remember. It's just coincidence how lucky it is for Big Pharma that it has a new expensive way to make us all healthy, because remember, healthy people make pharma companies bumper profits, don't they guys? But anyway, enough of me droning on, I'll call it a day there. So guys, thanks for watching once again, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Where